to knee, heel to knee. All right, let's get, what do you think? Try to get that 90 degrees. You don't need to be a full break dancer, but adding a little bit in there is good. Woo. 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, time. Okay, so now let's add one more piece to it. So now, as I'm here, and I kick that foot out, when it comes in and goes heel to knee, I want to get my pivot, and then I want to reach up and grab your ankle. Okay, I would put it back down, you come through, heel to knee, and then grab. Heel to knee, and grab. Try to get your ankle somewhere in your spin, okay? Preferably as close to when it touches your heel as possible, okay? But preferably while you're in motion if you can. Okay? Let's add that piece. 1, 2, 3.
Hey, Jim.
And welcome. Thank you.
Alright.
My mortality. About 30 more seconds. My seconds, not your seconds. You can't measure my seconds, Charlie.
It's not a Mississippi.
Mississippi.
It's a Mississippi with a half of Alabama in there.
It's like, when he's like 30 seconds up. That's right, wait.
That tastes like one.
And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Must be nice to just grab your ankle.
And time. Alright, so the stuff that we're going to go over, there's a couple pieces that are beneficial but not required. So if you don't need them, you don't have to do them. Grabbing your ankle is one of them. Okay? And a couple other pieces. But if you're still learning the move, it's best to use all those little pieces as possible so that you learn how deep you actually can go, and don't lie to yourself and go, oh, I can't do it because fill in the blank. Because when I add all the extra pieces in, suddenly you're halfway to what you said you couldn't do. Okay? And so what these extra pieces do is, like I said, they hold you accountable and they show you what is possible. You're just not achieving it. So if I want to go deeper into certain techniques, grab my ankle. If I want to go deeper into certain techniques, there's little cheater things that we can do. And as you get better, you can get rid of those. Okay? But the moment you're going, oh, I don't need them, and suddenly you're only doing half of what you're capable of, you need to go back. And you need to put the training wheels back on and learn to do it properly. Because what you're capable of is what the training wheels show you. And then you need to find that when you work. Okay? So we're going to work through here. So Matthias is in my guard. Okay? Right now, because of his hands in my belly, he's in a good green zone. There's not many attacks from here, maybe a wrist lock. Okay, that's about it. Green zones are relative safety. We play green zones from left to right. We also play green zones front to back. So what I'm going to do with his hands is I'm going to bring his hands forward and I'm gonna place them up by my chin. This is a yellow zone. Most of your opportunities in the game exist in yellow zones, okay? If I can get him into red, even better. Like if I can get him super far forward, I mean his elbows are so in jeopardy, but if I'm doing that, I'm typically also making him break another line by bringing him to the side, okay? But a lot of people, opportunity exists for both of us in the yellow. So sometimes he is okay with being in the yellow as well. So I'm gonna bring him forward and just hold. Training wheel. I put my foot on the hip and pinch up against his shoulder, okay? When you get a little bit better at it, it's not necessary all the time, okay? But again, this is a training wheel to help. So now, my right leg, okay, through here. My leg right now is bent. When I straighten my leg out, it almost bounces off his hip. So right here, as I straighten it out, the leg starts to touch his hip, and then it almost bounces on the way up, okay? So, when I take my leg, I bring it up his ribs, and now this is heel to knee. I want him bent over, and I want to be flat on my back, okay? If he is not bent over, this is why we tried to pivot roughly 90 degrees, okay? His hips to his head are headed out that way. They're not headed to me, okay? Some people are gonna go like this. Okay, now you're gonna struggle to put this leg over, and then you're gonna go, I need to be more flexible. No, you don't, you need to change your angle, okay? When I come up, literally, I didn't even need anything to put my leg over his head on the other side. So I bring him forward, foot on the hip, heel to knee, change the angle, foot over his head, and now we're in position for our arm bar. Right now, I'm not really interested in tapping him. I just want to get to position. Okay, now I come back, foot on the hip. As this one comes up, heel to knee, change the angle. That's an easy over. Come back to center, foot on the hip. Again, my goal is this leg is to break his posture. Make him lean over. If he's not leaning over, okay, right now I'm looking through his ear and his body's not even on the other side. Okay? Because again, what people do is they go here and they go. And they struggle to get the foot over. If you look at his hips to his head, my hips to my head, we are in a straight line. Okay? The more of a straight line we're in, the harder it gets. Change the angle, break the posture, up and over, super easy. I can't touch my toes. What's your excuse? When it comes to stretching, my hamstrings are so tight that the idea of bending down and touching my toes hasn't been there since I was about 16. Okay? But I can hit an arm bar extremely easy. It's not your flexibility. It's the pivots, the angles, and everything else. Make sense? All right, let's go back and forth. 1, 2, 3. Oh, come on! Mike! No, brand new, correct? Yes. All right, actually, you help out? Okay. Gentlemen, I have a square open if you like.
Dave, you want to do?
Yeah, do about 4.
More of them, and then just push that.
Yeah.
All right.
Sorry.
Turns. Yeah, go across your ankles. We'll go over that in just a little bit.
So you want to go that way, right?
There you go.
Got it right.
I know.
No. You gotta bring it up like that.
I tried.
When that foot comes up, Hammer. Now, notice what you were struggling with. When your foot came up and you pivoted, your whole body twisted onto your side.
Yeah.
So right now, when you pivot, stay flat.
That's a good though.
Yes.
Hold on, go back.
His heel to knee.
Nice.
No, you gotta make him lean. Now, flatten out.
Nice. Good.
This way? Flatten out that way.
So flatten out, like your lower back should touch the floor.
Okay.
But what's happening right now is that you're pivoting and you're twisting sideways. You want to do this on your bottom, and now we're struggling.
Yeah, you are.
Are you gonna have you're gonna have your preference size? Oh, that's good. Do both. Sometimes you don't think you're better one. You can be better than the other.
Yeah, here.
What the other one? That's what we want.
Easier? There?
Yeah, so that's where he said, the more you go this way, you go this way.
Just hold on to both of his wrists and just hold him to your chin. So right now, you can see the arm that's already in position.
See how lower you
Now you're looking up and over.
That.
Yes.
Yep.
What's going on?
Yeah, come on.
Right on. How's everything?
How you doing, man?
So we're just doing arm bar drills.
That would help if you wasn't 300 pounds.
I know, but I gotta work out.
There you go.
Emphasizing our pivot.
All right, so now let's add one more piece. We're still doing the same pivot, we're still doing the same stuff. But again, what tends to happen is we try to bite off too much all at the same time. Then we like to gloss over all the important stuff so we can just get to the end and then say that we did one. But ultimately at the end of the day, it's not about just doing one, because ultimately if the beginning is horrible, then every time you do it, it's gonna start horribly. So you want the beginning to start nice and clean. So again, I'm gonna bring him into that yellow zone. I'm just gonna put his hands up against my chin and just hold him here. Okay, at this moment in time, when I put my foot on his hip, my knee is pressing up against his shoulder. Now we make the pivot, okay? My right leg comes up. When my heel goes that way, my head goes that way, and I'm flat on my back. So when I finish my pivot, I am still flat on my back. So legit through here, I could just lay down and I could get into position. Okay? But if I hold on with my hands, I get him into position through here. Now, pointing toes or pushing toes, I want to pull. I want to pull him into me. Then I want to flare. Knees get pinched in the middle and heels go out. Then we go hands free and we ask our partner to slowly try to pull their arm out. Okay? Our legs have a job to do, and in most cases, we don't make our legs do their job. My legs are there to pin him in place. So my hands and the rest of my body can do what they need to do. Okay? If my hands have to try to hold him in place because my legs aren't doing their job, then we're going to struggle really bad. This is one of the reasons why in this particular instance, in arm bars, there are times we will cross our ankles. This is not one of them. Okay? And the reason why we don't cross our ankles, again, I want you to experiment with your partner. Okay? So, I bring Matthias into position, and I cross. And now I'm gonna pinch hard. Pull your arm to freedom. I got strong legs. Okay? Now, I get him in position, and now I set my crunch. Pull. Okay? I want you a couple times to cross your ankles and try to hold your partner. And then I want you to do the exact opposite. When I cross my ankles, my knees flare out. So I want my knees to pinch in and my ankles flare out. He feels more crunch on the back of his head, ultimately making it to where it's hard for him to even pick his head up into the air, and it's going to be easier to hold him in place. So now if I was doing an arm bar and my legs do their job, I just gain 3, 4, 5 seconds worth of attack to get the hyperextension. Otherwise, I may have only held him for half a second and then his arm comes free. Now that means my hands have to try to hold him in position rather than doing their job to attack. Does it make sense? Okay, so same pivot, everything else, but get in position, cross your ankles, okay, hands free. Partner, we're not jumping and flipping and going all over it, we're just trying to shimmy our arm out, okay? And then do one where again, we do the exact opposite. Don't cross your ankles. Hit your knees in the middle, clamp your heels down on the back of your partner's head, and then see what that does. To me.
Make sure you push off your hips. Push your back.
Raise that other leg up into his arm as high as you can.
So now,
Yeah, there you go.
kind of match it through here.
Cross your right, so feels like this now. Feels out, and that's pinch, and then you get up there.
Now, clear. Try to make his forehead touch the ground.
Thank you.
Oh, that's cool. I like that. That's really cool.
No, you're sitting crooked. You're on the side.
Your angle sucks, that's what it is. It's not that I'm too big, it's, you have a terrible angle. There you go.
Here.
See, why can't you do it on that side?
The other side's not working out very
It's
well.
not right on our hand.
Oh, no hands.
She's just having the leg, okay? She got her angle, her ball, that's it. Much better.
Now, for the record, my daughter and I agree.
I should have went.
Horrible.
Where did that come from?
I don't know.
Because it's Halloween.
No, okay.
That just said cheater pumpkin ears.
But it's totally opposite, like I'll do the other one, right? So over here, they come and they cross up. Like that's as far as I can pitch. Go ahead. See?
Now watch what also happens. Go for back position. Okay, and he's gonna cross his feet. Look up at the ceiling. Sit up. How hard was that? Now go back.
Very easy, yeah.
So now when he crunches on your head, let's not even talk about pulling your arm free. Sit to the ceiling. Guess what the #1 defense is to an arm bar?
Yeah, looking up.
Sitting up. So just the leg position alone didn't make it impossible, but it made it really tough for you. So now, you know, I took away the main defense almost everybody does.
What's going on? They playing around over there? What's going on? The old man jiu-jitsu getting bad for you, Mike? What's going on?
Now, we're not going over his head.
Oh, my bad.
This way.
I just said yes. You said yes.
Yeah.
So now, we're doing
The pinch is actually.
and now he's gonna try to pull his arm.
Feels alright.
It was probably really easy. Now let's put it back
It's
in.
doing. I feel it getting better.
Hold his head down. Now let's try to pull his arm out.
You know, and
So
my
I really
mobility's
got
getting
the
better.
pictures here on
The stitching is getting better. Just like building muscles or anything like that, where you just work out. Of course, I've been doing it.
Which way does your head go in your good side?
Plus I shaved the beard. You see how clean I am?
They should have really pushing off with that. Like really use that and push that.
If you need that, that is one of our, that's like one of our station training moves that we do. Because not only does it help them pivot, but that arm is like at the same time. Right? When we're, because if he's gonna get smarter, he's like, oh shit, you're trying to say, I'm gonna try that. You know?
Okay.
Get better, man? So even something subtle.
Yeah, no, that's what we're doing.
And it's like he gets sore, but it's not.
Let's go one more minute.
And even if they do get that bottom arm out, if you have your legs stomped on their head, they're not moving very quick. They might get that arm out, but they're not gonna.
Yes. There's still stuff you can do and slow them down.
One of the parts you gotta remember though, I'm still holding on to your arm.
Yeah, it's still there.
How hard was it for you just to pull your arm out and I wasn't even touching you?
They're expending all that energy.
So now, my hands and my core get to worry about breaking your arm. Not this is played throughout the entire game. On a football team, how many players you got? You got a basketball team, how many players you got? You got one dipwad running over here doing whatever the heck he feels like it? No, fire him and get a real player in the game. You know, that's what Donner heard they say about leg locks. Why ignore 50% of the body? But yet, we do it in every technique. Our legs are supposed to do their job, but we get so excited by trying to use our arms that we don't let our legs do their job, and vice versa. There's times where my arms are doing their job, and you forget to use your legs for sweeps and things of that nature. And then the leg lockers, they do the other side. They get so fixated on the feet, they forget the rest of the body. So it's like they got trapped in their own little, you know, it's like, I did legs, just don't forget the other 50%, and then they go over here. And they forget.
You got the everybody.
All right, how did everybody do on that?
You get one side.
So, ultimately speaking, everything that we just did is your arm bar, your triangle, your omoplata. Everything that we just did. And that's why, again, that beginning, that pivot of bringing my leg up, breaking them down, I stay flat, I don't twist, okay? Because otherwise, what we have to make it up with is flexibility. It's not wrong, okay? But ultimately speaking, it's like going up to something and going, well, I'll just force it. Not wrong. I mean, if I'm strong enough, I'll force a lot of stuff. But at the same time, we know that in many instances, if I try to force something, there's a good chance I break it in the process. I've done it way too many times in life, where I'm like, rather than get the proper tool for the proper job, I'm like, I'll just overpower, and then there we go, okay?
Oh, I broke the key in the door.
Oops. And so one of the things that jiu-jitsu helps us with quite a bit is start trying to use the proper tool for the proper job. The goal of jiu-jitsu is closer to golf than it is any other game. Golf is about doing the minimum amount of work, and it's the one who does the least and still puts the ball in the hole. They're the one that wins, okay? For us, the goal is to do the minimal amount of work and still put the ball in the hole. That's our submissions, that's our sweeps, things of that nature. But it's to do the least. Otherwise, a smaller individual has zero chance of ever beating anybody that is physically bigger or badder than them. Not gonna happen. Because if every solution is just always either hyper flexibility or hyper strength or whatever, and you're not concentrating on getting proper positions, proper pivots, and things of that nature, okay, guaranteed, flexibility goes out the window the moment you pop a knee. It's gone. At that moment in time, all that, I'll just put my, nope, not happening anymore. Now you have to find out your whole game was based off of a tool that no longer exists. It's gone. Happened to me more than once. Okay? But if your game is based off of all the good stuff, proper positions, you don't have to reinvent the wheel when an injury comes around. Okay? We just have to find some subtle new pathways, but I didn't have to reinvent. When I popped both my knees, I didn't reinvent my entire game. Because I realized now at that point in time how much I was relying on flexibility and how much I was just overpowering everything. And you're going, all right, it works. Yeah. So ultimately speaking, then it didn't. And then you're like, fuck man, everybody's kicking my ass now. Alright, so now, that was our arm bar. So now we're gonna do the same scenario. I'm gonna bring Matthias's hands up, but this time, as I bring his hands up, I'm gonna slide that foot up to put it onto his hip, and as I do, I'm gonna punch. One hand in. This one, when it comes over the top, it's gonna go same thing, heel to knee, and then get our pivot, okay? Because again, if we're straight on board, big, thick shoulders, I got some big guys in the room, okay? The chances of locking it up super tight go way down. But the better the angle, the smaller the neck. So if I go straight on, small necks become big. If I get good angles, big necks become small. So when I come in here, as I bring him forward, my goal is to bring one and punch the other, okay? As we do them together, I bring him forward, I punch, and I open. My foot is now on his hip, and this one's ready to launch, okay? I'm gonna apologize now, Matthias. So usually there's a nice little thwack of the inside of my thigh hitting him into the neck as I hit my pivot. Okay? Heel to knee. This is the same thing that we just did. Now, at this point, my feet technically are facing the same direction. It's a quick little push-pull, and then we lock. As this one pushes through his neck, this one pulls through his neck. Then I lock. And again, just like before, now all I'm gonna do is just relax and let my legs relax. Okay? If he's not resisting, then my choke should take no effort, but it's not fast. Okay? People gotta get over that. My choke goes in, 1,000, 2 1,000, don't get impatient, 3 1,000, 4 1,000, roughly about 5 is about when it really starts to set. And then they tap. But we don't pulse. We don't go, squeeze didn't work, squeeze didn't work, squeeze didn't work. In this case, I just relax my legs and just let them sink. And that's enough. I'm in my proper position, and he'll feel it start to close and collapse. But again, it's not gonna be fast. Okay? But again, if I'm not in a good position, you can squeeze as hard as you want. Maybe you might be able to make up the difference, but if your position is horrible, all you're doing is burning yourself out, and then you're going, I don't know why it's not working, and then Matthias is just sitting there grumbling, going, when I get out, and then you're like, my legs are jello now, I don't know what to do. So again, bring him forward. As I bring him forward, punch, there goes the foot to the hip, okay? Now, pivot, heel to knee, push, pull, and lock. Grip those toes, and then relax. Just let your legs drape. I'm not pushing them away. Again, if he's not resisting, he shouldn't take me any effort, and the choke is there, because the position's correct. The more he resists, the more I squeeze. Right? That's what the muscle is for. If he goes to 1, I go to 5. If he goes to 5, I go to 10. But if he's at 0, I go to 1. That's all I need. position alone should be able to do it. If the position's good, now when I squeeze, he'll know it. But if the position's bad, I mean, you can squeeze on it all you want at that point in time. If they got a strong enough neck, you're not going to change anything. Let's give it a shot.
We'll see.
Never get that angle.
So shoot one in, yeah, there you go. Not the one that goes over.
Do I automatically putting it here like that?
Yeah, and then let go just swivel.
Let's see, me backwards.
Yeah. Roll simultaneously.
Yeah.
Well, that's just
I would just take it nice and slow.
Yeah.
Just so
Make your feet face the same direction.
boom.
Now,
And then
push pull.
now.
Push this one.
Bring it. Bring
This
it
one push on this one.
up this way here.
Come up. Her head should
Now bring that.
It was. Should twist side and down.
You know that shoulder.
And there was the rope on it. I need your legs to be able to see your head this way.
So when you're doing it, you're really, it's simultaneous.
You'll see when your feet go that way and your head goes that way. That's right.
Yes. Yes.
You can explain now what
Just bring that, remember to bring that forward first. So you're hiding that shoulder. And that, a little bit more of an angle here. I really want to hide that shoulder. Yeah, you want to go? Yeah, I'll get it. And that way you can see it.
And that's what I was
I want to really jump over to where I bring that forward. I really want to get like this. And if I get it to here, great. If I can just cross that line, really, and if I need to, I can just bring that.
Because the push pull doesn't exist.
Yeah, I love that. You can go ahead. Hit me too, because it's a difference. My shoulder, you kind of have to get it. You kind of have to get it. So,
No, go back. So now remember, this foot, so start your attack, pull punch. Now look, this knee is already here. So now when you go heel to knee, get your pivot. Yes, now right here, you just do this. So now this is push pull and then walk. Now flex those toes.
that was good.
Flex those toes. Pointing is pushing. So yeah, leave this here. We just no. See how it's already happening. As you're coming in. Now flex those toes.
No, that was good.
So it's already natural as my feet come in there this way, as this leg is pivoting, that knee is already on his shoulder. So if I go here and I start to pull it in, this one pushes, it's like everything just gets just a little tighter. Okay. And again, when things are where they belong, a little tighter may only be a quarter inch. But that quarter inch, I mean, that's the choke.
Yeah.
Because you're hitting them, as long as you just concentrate on slicing in the head with your thigh, you got it. So if you want to get this, no, you're not.
You're getting to the proper place.
Glad to see you got that foot problem figured out. You're hitting them like 1, 2, oh shit.
All right, finish the one you're on.
Give me a second, I'm choking on my own stomach.
So now, the last piece we're gonna add to it, and again, it's the same thing we just did in our arm bars. Now, the important factor is that there's sayings in jiu-jitsu. They say there's no strength in jiu-jitsu. That's a lie. We already know this, okay? The only question comes down is when, okay? Strength with no direction is useless. It just burns you out. It serves no purpose other than burning out your cardio, what little you've got. Okay? When you give it a purpose, a position, a placement, you tell it what to do, suddenly I don't need as much to potentially get the job done that I need. This is the real cardio of jiu-jitsu. Okay? I hate to say it, but you can go out and you can jog as many miles as you want. That is not fight cardio. Fight cardio is not jogging. Fight cardio is sprinting. It's fast explosions with very little recovery time in between, resetting for another fast explosion. Okay? So when we're working, the biggest thing we have to do is your cardio is an illusion in the beginning. You're overspending for everything you're doing, and you're getting no results from it. Okay? Easiest thing, okay? Go jog all you want, and if you can't swim, dive in the pool and tell me how that helped you swim. Doesn't do a thing. Okay? You splash around in the water, you probably don't even last any longer. You probably drown at the same speed and the same pace. Okay? You'll just feel better about it, yes. But that's not where we go. And again, we can take swimming. I think swimming is the most perfect example of how just working harder does not yield any more results. Splashing in the water harder and faster just tires you out more. When you learn just to make little figure eights with your hands and suddenly you're treading water and doing 100th of the effort, okay, that's technique. Swimming is predominantly technique, and then we put the power on the technique, and suddenly you're Michael Phelps, winning Olympics and things of that nature. But power without technique is a drowning victim. It doesn't help. Okay? So now that we know where we're going, now we put the power on the end. Okay? So again, I bring him in, we set him up. Okay? Again, through here, as my feet come in, push pull. That just took out a lot of slack. Toes go under, get into the back of the knee, deeper the better. Now we get him through here. What did we do in our arm bar? What was the better way of pinning his head? Flare. So once I'm here, I bring that heel down, I bring it in, and then I flare while I squeeze. That heel goes down. By flaring, it pinches that knee inside and gives me a lot more tension. The choke is in the pinch sideways. It's not in pulling him in. I'm just doing that so that, again, I'm trying to take every avenue of escape out. But when I'm here, okay, collapsing down, if my knee goes towards his back or my heel goes towards his back, you see my knee opening. If I pivot the other way, okay, so in this instance, it's almost like both of my feet now are trying to go out that direction, okay? When I lock him up, okay, I'm gonna squeeze, flex, bring it down, and now flare. And then at that point, you're gonna get a much better choke, okay? Because the goal is not just to squeeze your neck. Okay? Too many people head on triangles, guillotines, triangle chokes with their legs, things of that nature. They get in position, they squeeze the ever-loving God out of the person that they're with. Okay? Maybe they get their neck to pop, maybe the person taps to that, but in most cases, it's just pure power. And then the person at the end is just like, my arms are jello, I don't know what to do now. Now put that into an actual context where winning and losing matter to you. Only now you just got done squeezing on somebody's neck. You gave it everything you got, and now literally, my fighters have sat there in between rounds 2 and 3, sat on the stool and go, I can't lift my hands, coach. But you still got one more round. Okay? And you know at that moment in time, that round is called an ass whooping. Okay? Because you got nothing left. Okay? The only thing you got is to either quit where you are, okay, or fight to the end. Okay? Or we fix the technique, get to a better position so that when we set our squeeze, we get a better result. And then I personally myself, I go with that 5 count. I set my squeeze. My first piece I go with is about 50% of what I'm capable of. And then as I count down, 1 1,000, now I'm at 60%, 2 1,000, 70%, 3 1,000, 80%. I just keep climbing. So by the time I'm at 5, my squeeze now is about as good as it's gonna get. Okay? And then I go, he's not tapping. Quick assessment. Do I think I'm where I belong? Yes, go 2 more seconds. And if not, after that, I bail and move on. I'm not gonna sit there and try to start doubling down on a technique that clearly, I just gave him 7 seconds of everything I had, and he still didn't tap. So something was wrong. More than likely, my position was wrong. Right? So now let's put the power adder into it. Right now, legs down, cut that corner. Okay? And now put the squeeze with your leg. 1, 2, 3.
Hold on, 10 seconds.
I did one tournament. Thought I had this dude dead to rights, had an arm triangle. I squeezed. He's not tapping. I literally felt, everything was draining out.
Yeah.
And then I felt him slipping out of position. So when you hit the wall, come through, once you hit it right here. Yes. And then, I hate to say it, but now my calf comes down on the back of his head.
I wasn't going to.
What do you mean, like this left one?
No, that one that just came in.
Okay. And then I squeeze here.
I lock it up nice and tight.
I feel like I have a lot of space.
You
here.
do. You have the
My
gift
ankle?
and a curse.
Ah,
Long legs.
Yes.
so how do I fix this?
So, lock it up nice and tight. Get it deep, yep. So now, this one pinches this way. This one pinches this way.
Do you like grab your leg and do it?
If you need to, that's where we came in. And we put this hand inside. Grab a little bit lower. Pull it in.
Yeah, we're good.
Now, this is my good side, though.
Full gear and then I flare out.
It's not amazing to me. Yeah, that's about right.
Other things we can do if we need to. Some things is we can come up, hug your knee,
Work on that hip slap again. Just work.
hug your knee, squeeze everything together in the middle. And then if you're like me, I go, I'll just take the arm off.
Try and get it lighter. That was Sarah. Yeah, the first time you were opening your triangle, the second time.
No, it's.
Now, don't push it away. Pull yours, and now make your knees touch it.
You know those little bluebirds?
Can we
One. Oh, this is not swollen.
When I first hit you with the choke is when you're going to defend it at its greatest. So most times the submission itself is not good to hold position. So by splitting my attack 50-50,
50% is the choke. And I'm holding roughly 50% in reserve to fight you positionally. Okay? The longer you sit in, as you start to shift, and go, okay, I'll go a little bit less on the control, start putting it onto the choke. All right, last piece. So, I get Matthias, I lock him up, boom, 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 and I get him in position. Okay? I'm going to set the squeeze. Now, the squeeze is the pinching of the legs. That is what we're predominantly working for. Okay? But one of the other little power adders coming through is grabbing by the back of his head. Okay? Pinch and squeeze. Okay, what that does is you gotta think, what I'm creating with my legs is a triangle. It's this way. Okay, and then it's top over here. So when I take his head and I pull it into the V, I'm pulling his neck deeper into the choke itself. Now it's illegal in competition for the kids to do. Adult divisions, nobody cares about your health, so you're free to do what you want. In the kids division, be careful because what it does do is it puts a strain on the back of the neck. Okay, as you pull the head in, that's why the kids, it's pretty consistent across the rules at certain ages that anything that puts a strain across the back of the neck is a neck crank. And they specifically, guillotines, pulling down on the head in triangles, things of that nature, they take those out so that it's less likely that they get injured. So, grab your partner, throw in your triangle, literally grab them by their head. Now in this case, we are going to add a little push, okay? Because as I'm taking their head and I'm pulling it in, I want to push my hips up. I want that V, as the head goes down, I want that V to go up and match them piece for piece. All right. Hit that a couple times, then we'll roll.
I never see how you're trying to.
Where's the choke? Where's the Charlie choke? Where's the Charlie choke?
Why do you want to see Charlie choke? Why don't you want to see Chris get choked? Why is it gonna be me?
Now remember, we're triangles.
Oh, I got excited too.
Oh, that was a good one.
Don't interleave, just cut.
I saw that one.
Now grab by the head.
That one hurts.
I saw that one in action.
Well, I was telling him I just slapped with your thigh. That time she took it.
No, she got the pivot just right on that one too. I was like,
Yeah. Sometimes you gotta slap the shit out of your husband.
It's marriage counseling.
very counseling. That's
Okay.
So now, one more power steer. So I set him up through here, and I'm locking him up. So what I'm gonna do through here is I'm gonna grab by his head, take his chin, and I'm gonna put it into his shoulder.
That's amazing.
Dude, that felt amazing. I even put a little pressure on it, pop. Dude, that's amazing.
So you're shifting towards the arm that you're shifting.
So the arm is here. Now, realistically speaking, if we're in the parking lot, I'm gonna hit you in the face,
To shift.
shove your chin over, and then pull down.
So it's like a side triangle at the same time.
It's another power adder that you can put through it and add to the crank that's on the neck.
Because a lot of that pulling ahead now, I felt it once.
Yes. Yep. But when
Oh, the angle's right, dude. This is vicious.
Say when I'm here, okay, I'll lock you up. Okay? If I can get your chin this way, I'll squeeze.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. So like I said, if we're fighting
Don't let him choke you.
which is the version of jiu-jitsu that I prefer.
Listen to that.
That's how I started. I started with was MMA version jiu-jitsu. And So ultimately speaking, positions like that, I get you trapped in a triangle. And right now, people are like, oh, I rampage Jackson. I'd sit there and I'd just start never while you're inside my triangle. Have fun. You know? And then when I'm ready, boom, then all of a sudden I start slamming the triangle in place. Or I'm choking you while I'm hitting you, or elbowing you, right? And that's the part that you always have to be very cautious of when we play this jiu-jitsu is we're not thinking about what's going to happen in a real fight. And again, even MMA is a game. I've got rules I got to play with. I mean, the rules are going away slowly. I can now do 12 to 6 elbows. I don't have to worry about, so now I can throw an elbow from pretty much any angle. Throw it pretty much however I like. Originally, I had to worry about 12 to 6. Now I don't. Not a pro. But that's the reality. Somebody over the weekend, again, dropped in, went for K-guard, he got knocked out. Because they put themselves in position. Here, K-guard works amazing to get you leg locks. A lot of leg locks get you knocked out when you're actually like really fighting.
Wait, someone used K-guard in MMA?
I saw they attempted to use K-guard.
Yeah, attempted. It's just asking
All
to punch
right.
in the face.
Let's grab our partner. Let's start off in closed guard. So we just went over arm one and we just went over triangle. So let's see if we can get one of those.
About that in a roll. Roll. That was my knee. Don't go after my left. No. Don't go after anything on me.
All right, 10 seconds.
3, 2, 1, go.
What is happening behind me? She put her toe in my armpit and it tickles. That's disgusting. No, she doing it too. I didn't like it. You're lying. You liked it.
Hello. Seconds. Time. Other person down.
It don't matter.
5 seconds.
Try to get a triangle. If you
Go!
can get a triangle, try to land a triangle. But
Do it then. Do it then. Do it then.
He's got the power of two in the slew.
Stand up.
40 seconds. 10 seconds.
10 seconds remaining. Three, two,
Alright, find somebody new.
10 seconds remaining.
Find a new partner.
You a couple often?
Yeah.
As much as I can. I have not been.
Alright, 5 seconds, here we go. Go!
I didn't hit you.
One. Time. Other person down. Spread back down.
I'm almost 45.
Go.
She's not tapping, she's about to go unconscious over here. Yeah,
I know. Stop doing that. You get going now.
Don't worry, Brooks will knock you in the face. Keep it. You went the other way. Look at that control.
Why the legs?
Like I saw the bias to this. Chris is gonna go, welcome to Kessa Katane.
30 seconds.
Try the other side. We'll mess up the other one.
If you keep trying to slow down time, you're gonna be worse.
2, 1, and time.
Try to,
Alright, listen up.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. Did you put the salt?
yeah, I was trying to take a head and arm, and then if he rolled into it, I was going to try to. That's what you got better. Thank you, man. night, dude.
I've been working. Got myself a job.
I got tired of him whooping me.
Opposite time of the day.
That's J-O-B. Alright, so obviously this is Halloween week. So classes are normal. We are doing open mat on Friday night, although I do expect it to be probably a little thin on Friday night because it is actually Halloween night. So
Won't be
a lot of ones will go. And then we have been still collecting donations, everything else for Derek. We're over 3,000 now. So. Again, it's one of those things, that unfortunately it's always one of those bad things. Money can't change what actually happened, but it can sure affect what happens after. That's really where it's at right now.
Thank you.
All right, the pilot on the roll.
That was terrible. Get away from me.